Hey riders, are you ready to do this again? I know I am. What I've got here is a recording from yesterday. See my crazy leg spinning there? I've got everything sped up to 2 times speed just to not make the video drag on too long. This is the call to Basak, I believe it's called. It's located in the small country of Andorra, which is nestled between France and Spain in the Pyrenees mountain chain. It's 6.75 kilometers long. Actually, first, let's stop here. We got to talk about someone that I know quite well. He's in the Discord group. He's very active on Rouvy, and this is a Basak's pick. Me and Basak were talking a little while ago. Rides to do. What am I looking for? And he suggested this one to me, so I thought, yeah, sure, why not? I'll put it on my list and I'll give it a crack. So yeah, here we are. This thing is really zigzaggy, switchbacks all the way, 6.75 kilometers long, which is 4.2 miles, with 559 meters of climbing elevation. That's 1,800 feet. So this thing is one steep mofo, that's for sure. Yeah, so Bashak just said, hey, try this one out. Not many people do it. And he's right about that. So I did this yesterday. I saw there was a rider today, and then it seems like there's a rider every couple of days. Maybe it'll go like a week without anyone riding it. I am riding with my ghost friends here. I think there's 6 or 7 of them with me, and just noticing here that we're hitting the first big kick. Switching into map mode here, you can see the little ghost friends. This thing hits you pretty hard real quick. Like, look, we're 19-20% right here. And there's stretches, it seems like to me, I'm just going to guess maybe they're a couple hundred meters long at a time. You can see my RPMs here. I'm fresh at this point. I've done nothing else today, and I'm barely spinning 60 RPMs right now. I've got a 36 on the front with a 30 in the back. But when you're over like 16, 17%, it doesn't really matter, I don't think. You know, we're still in the 20% right now, 19%. And then thankfully, we hit a flat section. So rest up. Just start resting here. So again, Bashak threw this at me. I'm riding it. This is a spectacular ride. It doesn't get enough attention on Rouvy. So again, there's a couple of riders every day or two, or like a week or 2 weeks in between. There's only 2 pages of official route records. Now I know some of those records have been messed up. Get to breathe easy here for a few seconds and wall. So here we go again. We're instantly into 15%, and it just gets worse from here. This looks like a good stretch of, I'm going to say, maybe 400 or 500 meters coming up of like deep red, 14, 15% stuff. What's funny about it is if you look at the last passes, and that doesn't really tell you a lot because people will jump on for a few seconds, realize they're on the wrong bike. It's recorded as a pass, even though it's not. People ride halfway up it, they don't complete it. People run out of time, whatever it may be. There's 26 pages, 20 entries per page of pass attempts, last passes, with only 40 riders recognized as finishing this route. Again, I know some things have been changed up with leaderboards, and if everyone's showing right or not, I'm not really sure. But even at that, let's say there's more, there's just no one riding this course, and I can see why. It's tough. But if you're out to challenge yourself, these are really good for testing your FTP out. It's so steep, you can really push against the gradients, as I did here. I've been off my game a little bit. I'm trying to get back into shape. Riding 6 to 7 days a week dropped to like 2 and 3 days at most for probably a couple of months there. And you really notice it. Like cycling's all about consistency. A lot of people come on like, yeah, what should I be doing? Should I be doing this? Should I be doing that? Just ride as much as you possibly can. Meet up with people and join little groups, join races, join the group rides. Hey, here's a great idea. You could join our Discord channel. It's linked to the top of this page. Right under the top of when you jump into my YouTube channel itself, you'll see the Discord link. I just refreshed the link a few days ago, and I've noticed a ton of people are jumping into the Discord. So maybe, I know what happened. That Discord link only lives for 30 days, and then you got to reactivate it. I've noticed a lot of people jumping in. So thank you very much. I think you'll find a lot of cool people in the Discord channel. There's always someone there to ask questions to. I mean, we're scattered all over the world, right? I'm on the West Coast. I'm in the mountains of Canada. I'm in Alberta. There's people in Eastern Canada, Eastern states, the UK. There's people all throughout Europe on there. So there's probably almost going to be someone awake, someone riding to answer any questions or just have a chit chat about bike riding, fight about races. Maybe some people joined in from the race we had on Sunday. I put a video out about that. It's a holiday challenge video. It's the last video I did. And turnouts for those rides have been really good. 28 were registered for that race. Only 27 raced because I was under a real time crunch and all I could do was record the video and do a little bit of audio commentary. You can still take a look back here. We're still on that 19% stuff here. There was a little breather in between. Just grinding away here, 48 to 50 RPMs. My poor legs. I'm pretty fortunate. My knees seem at this point to be invincible. But this is what I've said it before, I'll say it again. This is a bodybuilding climb. If you don't have the gears to do it and you don't like to stand up, I never stand up. I'm seated all the way here. You're just going to be using your quads and your hamstrings to smash your way up the hill. So therefore, that's the whole bodybuilder term, right? What you can see outside of the little flats, you should be rolling up this thing like over 3 watts per kilo a lot of the ways if you're pushing really hard. I did make a couple notes here I want to talk about. So thanks everyone for watching the race yesterday. It's a weekly race. Jill's kind of organizes it. Hopefully he continues to do so. There's all levels of ability in there. I know I cut the race short a little bit. I missed the 7. I only went to 20th because I was like, I got to get out the door right now. I had a 30-minute drive ahead of me, and I think it was 8:25 when I shut my video down. I actually missed who won the race. 2 people were up front. I just cut away for a second to watch others. So when I do those videos, I like to commentate on everyone who's doing their thing. Whether you're riding at 5 watts a kilo or 1 watt per kilo, I'm going to try to cover you somehow. Get to know people's names. It's going to get better every time I do it. So we talked about the Sunday's race. We've talked about this being Basak. So let's call him Evil Basak today. I like to say that a lot. So yesterday, actually it was today, I did the Paso Pordoi ride, part of the Climbing Gems Challenge. And it's just part of the Sella Ronda, because I know there's a Strava segment in there, and I think even the title of the ride is called Corvara to Paso Pordoi Sella Ronda. It says that. Well, it's just part of the Sella Ronda. And the video, I believe, is the exact video of the Sella Ronda route that you can actually do on Rouvy. I rode it, I think it was a week and a half ago. It was a Sunday. It's 50 kilometers, about 1,900 meters of climbing. You do the Campolongo, you do the Pordoi, you do the Sella, you do the Gardena. It's the short route of the Maratona Dolomites. And that is the full Sella Ronda. You have to do those 4 climbs. So why Rouvy used that name, I'm not really sure. But now that I've done it, I'm going to be picky about it, right? There's actually a Strava segment in there called Sella Ronda. I'm like, well, this is just a tiny portion of it. So when you do that climb in the Climbing Gems, you've actually done half of the Sella Ronda at that point. You've only got 2 more climbs to go. And you've almost done you've probably done 55% of the climbing. So a little bit longer and you'll be finished it. Entering another flat spot here. Trying to recover, you can see the watts drop way down here. Look at this. I drop into the hundreds. RPMs obviously kick up, 70s and 80s, and I was getting a little bit of a draft. So lately, it's been me and the ghosties every ride. I've switched over to doing just ride at 100% reality. I'm never going to turn it down. Just the way I like to ride. If I can't ride it, then I can't ride it. So here we go again. I've had my little breather. We're talking 20, 30-second breathers at most, and you get smashed with another wall. So let's take a look at this. 14, 16%, 20%. Here we go. Yeah, you really feel this. You can see my RPMs fluctuating. I'm dipping into the 40s, 50s, trying to get on top of the gears. Maybe I'll get into the 60s through this stuff. This drags on for quite a while here at 21%. But you know what? When you drop down to the 10s and the 12s, it feels like you're not even climbing anymore. It's crazy, what you get used to riding these things. So anyway, back to the Pordoi. Everyone should do that Sella Ronda. It's such an awesome route. 4 climbs. And the beauty of it is, if you've done the climbing gen part of it, you've seen those 2 downhills that you get to do. You go up a hill, then you got a downhill to catch a breather, and the downhills are long enough. You'll bring your heart rate down like quite a bit. My heart rate rides high all the time. I'll be riding at 170 and going down the descents, I'm getting my heart back to the 130s. Start the next climb. It's not to say that what I did today was easy. It's still a tough climb, but the descent off the Portoy is so long. I think it's like 7 kilometers long. You really get to recover well there. You can stuff some food down if you want. You can have a nice long drink because I get it now. It's virtually impossible to eat and drink when you're doing these climbs. When you're huffing and puffing up those long climbs, you take a drink, you miss that one crucial breath that you needed. And all of a sudden it's like, ugh. Uh, we're at the halfway point here and we're in the easy stuff now. Look at this. There's no more deep red anymore. You can actually, when you look at the profile on the bottom, you can see the yellow with a bit of orange, yellow with a bit of orange. You can basically count the number of switchbacks that are left at this point. So here's a switchback. We're going to enter some orange. So if you count the orange sectors, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think I have 6 switchbacks left at this point. The fifth one, second from the end, looks like we're going to maybe hit a bit of a wall, maybe 15, 16%. Ghosty's doing their thing, hanging right with me. And I tell you something, when you're doing these things and you're getting even 2 and 3 watts, it's like, hallelujah. I'm saving some energy here. It's pretty flat here, but yeah, I'm not getting much of a draft, but the ghosts are so good now. When they first came out, I thought, what a gimmick. I didn't care about them at all. I didn't use them. They've got to have been out for at least a year. I'm going to say that. I could be totally wrong, but it seems like that to me. I used them one time, never turned them on again. And then just recently, just because I've been doing some routes that are a little bit not as populated by many riders, and to make videos that people actually want to watch, I thought, well, let's get some fake riders in here, and they're pretty motivating. I'm not turning them off ever again. They're always going to be with me. Just gives me that bit of motivation. Like, see, they've all dropped behind me here, but pretty soon they're all going to push ahead of me, which is going to make me want to get close to them, get that tiny 1-2 watt draft. Maybe I'll push ahead of them again, drop them again. They'll come back. It's just this little game you're playing with them, right? So cruising right along here. Again, this is the easy stuff. Here's the flats. So on this flat stuff, it's 3 and 4%. You can start motoring, get your RPMs up as I'm doing here, getting into the 80s again quickly. On this flat stuff, your power is pretty low, really. You can see here I'm doing 150, 200 watts type thing. But on the corners, you should be able to pick the power right back up. Like right here, I should be picking up over 3 watts again. Switching gears, doing all my funky stuff on the bike, right? So the next week's going to be pretty tough for me. So yeah, again, this is a diversion from the Dolomites. I do have several rides already recorded with my ghost friends. There might be the occasional rider on there. Some spectacular routes coming up. The next one, I'm going right back to the Dolomites for a fantastic ride. It's at, I'll give you a little teaser. It's at Cancano Lake, which is just west of Bormio, one of the key starts to the ascent up to the Stelvio. I think you're within, 15, 20 minutes of Bormio, just to the west of it. So you can imagine what kind of terrain it is. And the scenery and the filming quality on that one is just incredible. Some of the videos on here are so good. And I was going to shorten the video up, to speed it up. And I'm like, no way, I'm keeping all this stuff in because it looks so good, this next video. Hopefully I'll have that out tomorrow, maybe. I don't know if it's good for me to put a video out every day, if that's too much for people. Let me know in the comments. I might do a little quick poll on that. If you haven't noticed, in the community tab on the channel, I've been running little polls. Like one I asked, where do you want me to ride, Spain or Italy? So that's why I've been riding in Italy, because that was a favorite. AR versus HD. It's kind of a split. It doesn't really matter to people. Here's that second last switchback coming up. We're on the flat here, and yeah, it looks like a bit of a wall coming up. This is the hard one I predicted. And 7, 10, 12, 16%. Yeah, so I think that qualifies at a wall. What do you think? 16, 17, 18% here. Yep, 50 RPMs. Yep, wall. This is the definition of a wall. So yeah, we're going to be back to the Dolomites. Some great rides. I got a bunch of other ones recorded. My latest community tab poll is: Have you ridden the Grossglockner? Speaking of that, I've just kind of, this climbing gym challenge. There's 4 of them to do. Paso Pordoy. There's a German one. I forget the name of it. I think it's a Norwegian one. Looks like a pretty good climb. 1,400 meters, I believe. And then the Col de la Lotes, which is about 1,900 meters. That one looks tough, but I've done a few of those rides lately, like the Sella Ronda I've done. Mount Lemmon I did just recently. I'm not saying they're going to be as hard as that one, but just that mental sitting on the bike for a long time, I might have conditioned my brain to it. So I'm looking forward to doing those, but I got to get those 2 done immediately because I think both these challenges end either Friday or Saturday for me. I just put them on hold and I didn't even think I was ever going to do them. I thought, why not? Do some new climbs I'd never done before. But inside of that too, the Grossglockner, however you say it, I think it's either Swiss or Austrian, I believe. Probably could traverse both countries. I'm not really sure. And I was going to do a video on that. I'll talk more about that in that video. There's multiple ascents up that route as well, I believe. In fact, the GCN Hill Climb Challenge, there's 3 routes to do there, has a different version of the Grossglockner. And they have Vaughan 2, and I think they have a Stelvio, which I'm looking forward to. My favorite climb, Stelvio. So we'll be getting back to that real quick here. Coming to the end. So again, maybe people know about this, maybe they don't. This is a total sleeper. This is one you don't think about. Andorra, where's that? Col de Biaxalis, never heard of it. It's a fantastic climb. It will punish you severely. I think especially if you have a trainer that can push to the 20%, you're really going to feel the gradient. You'll barely be able to turn the pedals over. This is a good ride for me. I've been pretty weak lately. I think my 30-minute power was 290 watts coming up with an average of 276 for the ascent. That puts me right at 3 watts per kilo. And that's where I want to be on every ride, not this sub 3 watts per kilo. We're coming to the finish here, folks. I'm going to upload this video as quick as I can. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. The channel's growing so quick now. I love it. We'll see you around. Please join the Discord channel. Here I am circling my stuff. Yep. We're all done. We'll see you soon. Thank you.